Alright, welcome everybody to this new video. So it's actually been probably an hour that I've been hiking just on the path that I showed you in the very beginning, and now finally I found a spot where I want to take an image. So you can see I'm in this beautiful open area over here. It's a little bit secluded from the way, but I was actually able to get down here, and I have this beautiful, very shallow riverbed over here. Let me just show you. So beautiful. And I think I want to shoot this spot over here just because the light is hitting some of the stones and the water. It just looks super interesting. Pretty sure I'm gonna find an image here. It's so beautiful, just secluded, silent, just pure nature. Me with my camera, beautiful. So let's find a composition. Okay, so what makes the scene a little bit more interesting is there's a green leaf which is right in between the first layer of stones and the water, and it just sticks out between all this like metallic and stone color. So yeah, that caught my attention. I wanted to include it. Looks nice. Also, there's so much beautiful texture, obviously, because all of the stones are somewhat wet. There's some moisture on there. Really beautiful. So right now I'm just looking around, exploring a little bit, seeing what I find interesting. And the next thing that caught my eye was this light spot over here right in the water. And it's actually right next to pretty much dead tree stump, which does have a lot of moss on it, so there's some character. And I just framed it up. And I do like the balance of the scene. So there's another tree in the background which is pretty much lit up. And then on the left hand side there's one on a kind of like incline, which kind of balances the whole scene. And then on the right hand side there's one which is just halfway across the image. It's actually a little bit too bright right now. Sun's coming out. So this time I'm having the riverbed in the foreground, and then I have this branch over here which has been dropped down probably not too recently. Still a lot of moss on it and character, and it's spread into a couple of different sub-branches. Yeah, it looks really interesting, especially with the stones as a foreground. I'm again shooting very low, and then having the branch in the background, just very interesting. I have one issue, which is in the background you can see over there, it's a very bright spot, and I'm exposing quite bright because the scene is quite dark. I want some movement in the water, I want some detail in the shadows. So this is pretty much blown out. This is why I'm going for a vertical, just to have more of like a balance between foreground and background. Have more emphasis on the stones, but also I'm getting rid of that part over there which is just blown out. Also, like I'm gonna focus stack, so I'm shooting f11, focusing on the stones for once, and then on the branch as a second exposure, just because there's just too much difference. So even at f11, not everything is going to be sharp, and I want everything to be sharp, so focus stack. All right, so quite interesting. Yep. Oh, damn it. All right, so quite interesting. I have this field which is full of these beautiful pink flowers. They're in full blow. Yeah, probably at the peak of summer right now. And then I have these branches over there just arching over, and just caught my eye, and I thought might as well try. The problem is just, I think I'm gonna shoot it in black and white, or I think I'm gonna post-process it in black and white, because the colors are great. I really like the green, and obviously the pink flowers make it beautiful. But if I go for color, then the sky is just completely blown out. It's because the branch is quite in shade, so I have to expose somewhat brightly. The rest of the scene is bright, but the branch is the problem, and I don't want it to be like black and completely in shade. Just doesn't fit the scene. So by going black and white, it actually works. So it takes away the colors, which is kind of against the point in the scene. But what makes this work, first of all, the sky is going to be white, so there's going to be more contrast in between the branch. And then the leaves, which are on the branch that is arching over, they're being lit up by the sun. They get some direct light, so they're going to be bright. However, all the other leaves in the background, they're in shade, so they're not going to blend into each other, but they're going to be separated by contrast, basically, by the light. So that's what makes it quite interesting for black and white. Just kind of like a side shot right next to the way. Quite like that. Simple. Black and white contrast. Interested to see how that turns out. Oh man, what an absolutely beautiful place. Have a look. Wow. So I'm actually quite surprised by this bridge, because it's in the middle of this forest and you've seen all the surroundings, but it looks quite new, and it actually has a sign over here which says renewed 2024. So pretty much 1.5 years ago, or like probably 1 year ago. So I'm actually quite surprised by this bridge, because you've seen the surroundings, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it looks very, very new. And it actually has a sign over here which says renewed 2024, which is probably 1 year ago. So, well, it's quite cool. I think going here was actually quite worth it, because when I was on the way and I saw the bridge over here, I instantly knew, like, on the bridge I'm gonna have a good probability of finding an image. I mean, the riverbed is very shallow over here, but again, it has not been an issue in the earlier images. So, yeah. So have a look around. This is the right hand side of my bridge. I quite like this jump over here, and the water looks quite cool. Probably from this angle here without the leaves over there. Could work. This one, yeah, kind of more chaotic. Yeah, so I definitely like the vertical more, just because it puts more emphasis on the tree. Obviously it's growing vertically, but also it flows better with the river. Yeah. Let's set up tripod. Quite a dark scene over here, so gonna need a longer exposure for that one. So this is definitely not the first shot that I had in mind, but I wanted to try out, because just as I was setting up camera, I thought about shooting through this gap over here. So it looks okay. I'm gonna try. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's way better like this. Just gotta find footing for the tripod, like that. So actually, I thought about going higher would improve the shot by just framing up in a different angle, but actually going lower is way better for this composition. So yeah, just got lower with the tripod. Really like that one. So just again, probably gonna focus stack, shooting at f13, just because I want everything to be sharp. The light is also very great right now. Everything is being lit up very. So if you wonder, I'm not using a polarizer for the scene because I do like the reflections on the water and I want to keep them. So if you like my images, I have a photography course available. It's the first link in the description, and I teach you everything you need to know about landscape photography. So I have camera settings in the field, post-processing, everything there's to know. It's the first link in the description. Check it out, you might be interested. Also, if you like some of my images and you'd like to have some of them framed up on your wall as a print, I have some of them available. It's also the first link, check it out. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Like, share, subscribe, and definitely write a comment. This really helps the channel grow. And see you in the next one.